Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking at a 19 Skyreach that I timed last week. As always, I'm going to be trying to find places where I can improve my gameplay as I do this live watchback, and I'm also going to point out strategies that I use along the way. I've gotten some positive feedback about how I do these videos, so I want to keep them going in case there's anything useful. It also helps out if there's anything in the comments that you see that I could be improving. I'd love to hear it. Alright, so with that we're going to start the key. Alright, so we're starting the key. Looks like we have a Blood Death Knight, an Arms Warrior, some kind of Rogue, and an Ellie Shaman. So right away we're going into the first pack. Stutter steps a little bit. What I like to try and do is get my dots out on one of the mobs and put my Heart of the Wild on cooldown, but right now I'm playing a little bit scared. I had plenty of time to be able to do that. First Screech is coming out. The Screech is not it's not an interrupt, so you can feel free to cast through it. As the first Blade Rush comes out, I pop my Convoke to make sure everyone stays nice and topped off. You can see I was targeting the little Squall guys there. They have an Enrage that you can soothe off to help prevent a lot of the AoE pulsing damage. Okay, next Screech is coming out. There's nothing really that can hurt us, so I'm just going to heal this up naturally with Regrowth. Alright, cool, so that's the first pack. Alright, looks like we're going into the next pack, pulling the Raven. Screech is coming out, it's gonna hurt us through the wall. I trank just to be safe, but it's probably a little bit of overkill, but it doesn't hurt to put that button on cooldown. Next Screech coming out, I'm gonna be able to heal a lot of that through with my Apex talent. Again, soothing the Enrage off the Squalls. There is another Enrage up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it. Probably not. Looks like it might die. Yep, I do dispel it. Cool, pretty good so far. In terms of defensive usage, feel free to send your Bark Skin kind of whenever. I use it on one of the Screeches, but you're never gonna get the Blade Rush as a healer, so it's not something you really need to worry about. Alright, pulling the next pack. Looks like we have all of them. I do have some time I could be getting in there. Okay, Blade Rush is coming out. I need to be careful here. Convoking, yep. And I had Ironbark on the Rogue. One thing that I try to do before the Blade Rush is to put my Life Bloom on one of the DPS. You have like a 66% chance that you're gonna have it on the correct target, and it really helps out healing in terms of single target, or at least like the split cleave. Cool. We're already at the first boss. It's like I'm trying to drink up a little bit. So for this boss, I find that there's not really any tank damage going on, so your Ironbark is free to use however you see fit. I tend to send it on myself, like every third bleed phase, just because it gets the button on cooldown and it helps take some pressure off. So you'll see I'll alternate like a defensive, then a Convoke, then a defensive, and so on. I should be doing a better job of getting in there and putting up my bleeds. My Heart of the Wild's been off cooldown for a while. Can't see anything. Okay, next set of bleeds is coming out. Yep, looks like I give myself the Ironbark, like we were talking about. One thing that I'm trying to get better at is not over healing the bleeds. Normally, if I have good hot coverage out, the bleed phase will end and the party will be at around half health, and it's okay because there's no other sources of damage going on here, so not having everyone at 100% the entire time isn't a bad thing. Especially if you're keeping your life bloom on one of the melee, the group will sort of heal itself up naturally in between the bleeds. Yeah, the reason why I brought that up, I could see in the last set of bleeds, my cursor went over the tranquility, but I held it, so that was good on me for holding. Yeah, I have overall damage up on the meters. I wish I had current to see how I was doing. Cool. Okay, the boss is getting a little low. I wonder if I'm going to send my Iron Bark on the next bleed. I'll have Bark Skin up, so I should use that. Yeah, hopefully I use my Bark Skin instead of my Iron Bark. Good. I'm thinking about that now, as the boss is like low in health. I want to save my Iron Bark if I can for the next pull. 30% still has a while, so we may have another minute in this fight, so I'll probably send it, I bet. Invoke is coming up, so I have that to press if I want. Okay, I did use my Iron Bark there. We'll see how is it gonna look when we get into the next pack. Okay, Gale Surge, not on me. It's going on the road and the Shaman. Yep, send in the Convoke. So this is a good example of just rotating your cooldowns and stuff like that. Chakrams coming out, move out of the way. Probably don't push my Heart of the Wild. Get out of that for sure. Cool. Gale Surge is coming up. When I get targeted by the Gale Surge, I like to go into bear form just so I can Frenzied Regen the first sort of big hit, and that takes care of my health pool. I don't really have to worry about it too much after that. Okay, cool. So we're coming into this pack and my Iron Bark is back up, so I was okay to use it when I did. This is one of the packs where a lot of times the tanks are going to need some extra help. It looks like I just sent it on the tank right there. Okay, just kind of healing all the pulsing damage. Not much else to be said about this. I've mentioned this before in other videos, but I need to get better at putting my Heart of the Wild on cooldown. Okay, and I'm listening to myself right now, apparently. It would have been nice to get it out earlier, but at least I hit the button. This is going to be a pretty heavy healing pack. So, Solar Construct, let's look at what we have available. We have Shadow Melt. Okay, it's on me, so I probably Shadow Melt the first one. If it comes on me again, I'm going to be ready to Bark Skin it. Okay. I didn't have time to switch my Life Bloom, but I do like to put my Life Bloom on whoever's going to be the target. So the Rogue must have cloaked it. Yep, Life Bloom the Rogue. Good. I'm getting targeted on the next one. I've got my Bark Skin. Good. I do prefer spamming Regrowth over trying to Frenzied Regen just because the damage is so heavy. Cool. Targeted the Shaman. It's going to be on me. I bet you I Iron Bark myself. Yeah. We had a little bit of sort of split cleave healing that I had to do, so pop the Convoke just to catch up. Nova's coming out. We're pulling the third construct rather. It's on me again. I don't have anything, so it's just gonna be healing. Keeping an eye on my potion if I need it. Swap some heals over to the Shaman. Good. In an instance like that, it's okay for me to like plan on using my potion, so I can swap heals to the Shaman, knowing that I've got like an off GCD full heal coming if I need it for myself. Okay, I've got Bark Skin coming up if I get targeted again. Hopefully not. Okay, it goes on me. It's almost dead. but let's see what I do. No bark skin. Okay. Again, do I hold my bark? Hopefully I now use it. Okay. That was a bad use of bark skin on me. The guy was almost dead, but I think right there I wasn't really looking at the mob health. I was looking at just my party frames and figuring out how I wanted to live the encounter. But that's okay. So on the construct, I tend to always want to take a beam, and then I keep myself full hotted. So it makes just like a little bit less RNG or predictability as to who's going to be healing, who's going to be soaking, and then having pre-hots on that target. So cool. Just kind of doing my thing. There is this strategy where if beams are close, one of the melee can run in between to help soak the ticks and like pretty much delete the damage of 2 of the beams. They do that every now and then, but I go into each beam phase thinking about how I'm gonna heal without having any extra like mitigation help. This is kind of like a vibes-based thing where it's like if I feel like I'm falling behind, I'll use a Convoke or a Trank. But if I feel like I can just power through with a regrowth, I go that way. Alright, cool. So we're going into the next beam phase. The tank did say in party chat that he wanted to soak every other beam, and I did not pay attention to that, so I was kind of ruining his strat right there. Again, I'm used to playing in pugs, so I've developed my own strat for each of these. Okay, cool. I think he's been pinging, and I pay attention to the pings a little bit later. Supernova. If you want on the Supernova, you can bear form in Frenzied Regen. It's just an easy mana-free thing you can do to help heal yourself up. A lot of times I'll have my Swift Mend available or just off cooldown, so I'll use that to heal the group with an Apex talent and pre-spread some rejuice, but looks like we're going into it. I wonder if I'm going to Trank here. No, looks like the Shaman was behind me doing a little bit of the wiggles that we talked about. Cool. Shaman hits the defensive. I've got Bark available if I need it, but with me, the Shaman, and the tank soaking it, there's not a ton of damage going around right there, so not much. Not much to do. I probably Bark skin the next one. Hey, good on me. I got my second Heart of the Wild for the encounter, so that's a plus. Okay, beams are split. Refresh my hots on me. Cool, that's the encounter. I wonder if I try and sneak a drink in. I find that mana uses a ton, or that boss uses a ton of mana. Yeah, I'm sneaking in a drink right here. There's not really too much to do or heal on this this pack. You know, there is some in the way of crowd control. If you take in-cap Roar, you can use that after the Mark for Death goes out to stop the birds from going after your teammates. I don't take that talent, so the main things that I can do to help out right now is I can Ursul's Vortex and I can Typhoon. I'm focusing way too much on healing the Death Knight. He's probably fine. I find Death Knights are hard to kind of predict when they need help versus when they don't. He had full runic power. He's got a cooldown running, so you know I think he's okay. I could have been in there doing a little bit of DPS, but you know that's kind of negligible. Okay, going into the boss fight, I should hop in there, put some bleeds out first, There's quite a bit of time before the first Sunbreak comes out, so I had time to get that kind of ready. Yeah, now I'm doing it after the fact. Okay, use that Apex talent with a rejuve, get some good hot coverage on everybody. I've got a lot of abundant stacks, so I should feel free to just spam regrowth. Okay, good. Get my Heart of the Wild on cooldown. One thing that I've been doing, I don't know if it's like the most optimized strat, but I like to put out a rip before I use Heart of the Wild, because the Heart of the Wild will give you the 5 combo points, and then rather than biting right away, I'll save them and go into the next sort of cat phase when I have to, with full combo points to refresh that rip. Okay, Sunbreak coming out. I'm sitting on Ironbark. I haven't used it. Probably could send it out to take some pressure off. This is another fight where, so far I've found that the tanks are mostly able to kind of fend for themselves, so Ironbark is free for you to send out. Okay, next one, I wonder if I trank this. No, we're looking pretty healthy. Yep. Just topping the team off. We're having pretty good good control of our ads. Okay, prepping some hots. Do I convoke? Probably not. I do have Ironbark. Yeah, there goes the Ironbark. Ironbark really does provide quite a bit of healing in a fight like this, where you have lots and lots of rejuves out through the I think it's called Wildwood Roots or whatever. Going out, refreshing my bleeds. That was a big Nature Swiftness, Swiftman regrowth combo. Really getting a lot of value out of my Apex talent in this fight. Cool. I've got my bark skin back up. I should probably send it on the next Sunbreak. Let's see if I go ahead and do that. Yeah, I did. A little bit early, but that's fine. Doing my best to crowd control the birds when I can. I wish we were in voice comms, because it would make it a lot easier in terms of hearing when like an in-cap totem versus a grip and that type of stuff was coming. But I was feeling pressured, so I sent Trank. I moved because I thought the bird was going to be a little bit too close to the egg, but it looks like it was fine. That's about it for this encounter. Here at 6%. Cool, and we're done. Alright, now we have to do the wind maze. There's probably some sort of tech I could look into to get this done faster, but sometimes I feel like just doing it the old-fashioned way is best. It's low risk, it doesn't take me that long in travel form, so I just kind of do it regular. I should probably stop and drink, but I help summon the, or help channel. Looks like I'm gonna have a little bit of time to get some mana. Alright, so we're going into the next pull. It's pulling pretty quick. I think we stop here. The camera angles in this part of the dungeon are absolutely abysmal. So I just kind of throw my camera around to try and see what I can see. So the next set of Blade Rushes went out, and I went ahead and convoked it. That's probably the most dangerous part of these packs, so I use it for that. Yeah, I can hear in the audio of the VOD that I'm just complaining about the camera angles the whole time. Shear's coming out on the tank. He's got a cooldown running, so that's fine. He may need an Ironbark on the next one. Oh, but I sent it on the warrior. Looks like we're feeling pretty comfy. I don't think we get another shear. No, yeah, we definitely do. Comes the Blade Rush. Let's see what I do. Wild Growth, Swift Mend, Apex Talent. It's another instance where I'm moving my Life Bloom off the tank onto one of the DPS, and again, you've got a 2/3 chance of getting the right target, so it's worth doing to help with that potential single target healing through Harmonious Blooming. I think I probably make a mistake and send my Heart of the Wild on one of the orbs, but we'll see what I do. I am making a mistake by not popping into cat form and sending it. I have 2 globals to spare. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it looks like I built up a rip, sent the rip, sent the Feral Frenzy, then swapped targets and did another full combo point rip. Cool. It's kind of inconsistent whether the tanks will pull left or right first, so it looks like we're coming over here to the right. So I don't have the bird, but I do have the construct and the blade talents to worry about, so this could get a little scary. So here comes a Blade Rush. I don't have Convoke for it yet. Okay, I Trank. Good. I am getting a lot better about using Trank. I used to try and go the entire instance without hitting the button, just because I felt like it was a point of failure if I did. But it's a tool that's there to be used, so you should use it. Alright, Solar Flame on the Shaman. Swap my Life Bloom. Alright, he put up a wall, so we're good. Looking at my own personal stuff, I do have Shadow Meld and Bark Skin available, so let's see if we get targeted. Okay, it's on me. Cool. It puts me out of combat. I probably drink. Yeah, nice. That's a nice little benefit. And then we've got Dreadwind coming out into a Screech, and he's probably going to chain it after the Screech. Yeah, okay. So this could get a little scary with overlaps on the Screech if there's like the pulsing AoE damage. There's not much we can do about bolts, so I'm not going to have to worry about that. Ironbark is coming up, and I can send it on the tank if I need to. This would be another time where voice would be awesome to coordinate that, but the way that I do it is if he's feeling squishy, then I just said, yeah, I sent it right there. I am pretty bad about overlapping my Ironbark or sending it like within the same second or global that the tank uses a button, just because I don't know whether they have them, and that could be mitigated by using something like Mini CD or Omni CD or whatever it's called. But 2, I don't know whether or not they're going to press it, and the way that I have to heal the dungeon is like I have to do everything in my power. So yeah, I was getting a little scared for him, so I sent it. But that's it for that pack, and now we're going into the last boss. For this boss, it's, you know, pretty straightforward. It's just heal the damage. You'll see me keeping my Life Bloom on myself whenever I have one of the things targeted, and other than that, I'll swap my Life Bloom around to one of the beam targets. But Bark Skin is pretty good to use on cooldown. This is another instance where Ironbark is not for the tank, it's for either the DPS or yourself. I like to be greedy with it just because it takes so I like to be greedy with it usually and send it on myself, but in this instance, since I know that I'm always going to have my Life Bloom, I'm free to send it on whoever. So right there, it looks like I sent it on the rogue. So I've got Trank coming up soon if I want. I do have potions I can use. I alternate between using Potion of Recklessness and Light's Potential. You could use either in this situation. I don't really see a big benefit of either one over the other. And then after that, just kind of cycle cooldowns. I'm doing an okay job keeping my bleeds up. Swap my Life Bloom to one of the DPS, good. Cool, put it back on myself. I've got bark skin available, so okay, awesome. I popped bark skin, and since I knew I was going to use my bark skin, I swapped the life bloom to the rogue, so that was a really good play. Nice, good job, dude. I should be helping DPS down the zealot, but I thought that I was kind of scared of the fire right there, so I opted not to. Alright, Feral Frenzy's back off cooldown. Yep, again, good instance of Life Bloom myself, Iron Bark the DPS. The Shaman walled there, he didn't really need to do that, but again, no comms, so I don't blame him. You know, at least the team is hitting their buttons, right? Alright, Life Bloom back to myself. We don't have any throughput cooldowns right now. Okay, cool. So I send my power potion, nice. So I use Light's potential there. I don't know what I was thinking in like sort of the moment. I just sent one. So we're feeling pretty good. We got bark skin coming up, so for the next one, let's see. Oh, I get targeted. I hate getting targeted by this thing, man. It screws with my UI. Feeling a little vulnerable right now. Okay, just doing the same thing, cycling the life blooms. Boss is probably about to die, right? So they probably need to just target him. Yeah. Cool. Alright, that's the key. Overall, I think we played pretty well. I still need to get better about learning the damage patterns and cycling my bleeds a little bit better to keeping the damage up. I only did 9k DPS right there. Not the best overall, but you know, on the plus side, we had 0 deaths, right? So I can't fault for that. This was a really good dungeon in terms of sending defensives and externals at the right times, making everything a lot easier to manage. But yeah, that's the key. If you guys have any feedback for me, I'd love to hear it. I'm always looking to learn how to improve my gameplay. But otherwise, I'll see you on the next one, and thanks for coming by. Yeah, see ya.